How's it going, everyone? Jiivita here with a fuel kind of crash course video. This was a request by N Betcher on Discord, and he's actually one of my patrons, which is amazing. But anyway, he had the question of, is it really worth it to compact the coals for fuel and whatnot? So beyond the benefits of just being able to build with the blocks of compacted coal, it's actually a huge boost in fuel efficiency, spark efficiency, whatever you want to call it. So just to give you an example here, or to prove a point, is that you can put fuel into a furnace and it'll tell you how much heat it is, and heat actually equals spark. So your soft coal, it's worth 100 heat, and if we put this into a spark generator over here, it's going to turn it into 100 spark. So this shouldn't take too long to go in. There we go. And so right there we have 100 spark in our spark generator. So spark equals heat, heat equals spark. Except I guess you can't take spark and turn it back into heat. But anyway, so now that we've established that heat equals spark, we have essentially three main fuel types here. So we have our wood, peat, and then our different types of coal. So wood, you can use the trunks straight up. So go out, chop a tree, get the trunks, throw them in the furnace. I don't really recommend doing that, but you can also use the timber and sticks that are crafted from the trunks, and that actually gives you a little bit of extra spark or fuel, heat, whatever you want to call it, if you're using mass craft. So that is pretty handy to know. Actually, timber is the best one to craft if you're going to use wood. I don't really recommend using wood, but if you're desperate, that would be your best bet. Moving along, we have our peat. So you can use the peaty soil directly, or you can compact it into compacted peaty soil, which is the best fuel pre being able to compact your coals. And of course, over here we have our soft, medium, and hard coal, and then the compacted versions of each. So let's jump over to a spreadsheet that I made and take a look at this a little bit closer. So right here we have our wood section, trunks, timber, and sticks. So each trunk is worth 30 spark, timbers 15, sticks is 7. So you're wondering, how is this going to be more worthwhile to craft it into timber or even sticks than versus just using the trunks? Well, you have to take into account for mass crafting, expanding out or giving you back more than what you actually put into it, basically. So you're only going to use 18 trunks to make either 50 timber or 100 sticks. So that gives you 750 for the timber or 700 for the sticks. And when you look at how much spark the trunks would have generated by themselves, it's only 540. So mass craft goes a long way of saving you a lot of time and stretching your resources out as far as they possibly go. That's a gross increase of 210 for the timber or 160 for the sticks. So naturally go for the timber if you have a choice. I guess if you already have a whole bunch of sticks laying around and you're desperate, that is an option. Come over here, you can see that for timber at least, that's a near 40% increase on your heat slash spark. So if you're going to use wood, that is the way to do it. Coming down here and looking at the peat, it's a pretty compelling story down here as well. It's only 20 spark per peaty soil. It takes 180 for a mass craft and it outputs 25, and each one of those is 500 spark slash heat for a total of 12,500. And so if you come over here, you can see that you basically took 3,600 spark and turned it into this 12,500 spark, which is an increase of 8,900 spark, or a 247% increase. That is crazy. And if you have some AoE shovels, you can go out and easily get 16 smart stacks of this in a relatively short amount of time, like maybe 30-ish minutes depending on your skill setup and your location. That is the one qualifier. So you have to find an area with lots and lots of peat. But yeah, 16 smart stacks, that is a million spark right there. And it doesn't take that long to get it. So pretty potent fuel right there, especially if you can't compact your coals yet, because compacted coal does require power on your compactor. So if we come down here and start looking at the coals, of course we have our soft, medium, hard coal. Soft coal's 100, medium's 250, hard coal's 800. But as you can see here, by compacting it, the compacted versions are pretty potent, with soft coal being at 1,500, medium at 4,500, and then 15,000 for compact hard coal. To compact your coals, you'll need 360 of each type for all the different types. However, the problem is, or at least the source of the question is like, wait a second, to compact your coals, it costs spark to compact it, which is kind of like, well, wait a second, why don't I just use that spark instead of spending it on just making a more fuel efficient fuel? But therein lies the thing, it's a more fuel efficient fuel. But depending on how much power you have on your compactor is going to determine how much spark each one of these costs. So if you see here, with the minimum amount of power, it's 10, 20, and 40,000 for the soft, medium, hard coal respectively. But if you have maximum power on your compactor, you can see that essentially chops it in half, which is pretty dramatic. But that's really not even that huge of a difference. It outputs 50 at a time. But if you take a look over here, so 50 soft compacted coal, that's 75,000 spark. If you look over here, you took 36,000 spark and turned it into 75,000 spark. For medium coal, it turns into 225,000 spark. The materials was only going to add up to 90,000. So as you can see here, even though you're spending a little bit of spark, you are getting back way more than you're actually putting into it. If you come over here, you can see the gross increase, and if you come over here, you can see kind of the net once you subtract out the cost. So if you have maximum power on your compactor, that 50 hard compacted coal, that's still an increase of 443,000 spark. That's just insane. Which, if you come over here, you can see that you're getting anywhere from 147 to 154% increase on your spark slash heat. It's a little bit less dramatic for soft coal, but still, that is just like, why would you not do it? The only thing is that if you're compacting your fuels, it does take a little bit more planning ahead and ensuring you have the compacted fuels ready for use, because the last thing you want to do is come home from mining and you have a whole bunch of ores to smelt and realize, oh, you need to compact all of your fuels first, or miss out on that 150% extra fuel. I mean, that 150%, that you're more than doubling and a half your fuel. It's once you can compact your fuels, you'd be kind of crazy not to do so. And just for fun, I came down here, and instead of using mass crafting, I set it up for single crafts. And even if you single crafted each piece of compacted coal, you're still getting anywhere from 41 to 83% more fuel for your trouble. I don't recommend doing that, but if you're just desperate and you need just, that few extra pieces of compacted whatever, then it's still worth your time and energy to do it. So long and short, compact your fuels, use mass crafting. Even if you're using wood, you can mass craft it into timber and you're still getting a 39% increase on your time and energy. So yeah, play smarter, not harder. Basically, it's the moral of the story here. I'm not saying what you should and shouldn't do, but it's a pretty compelling story, I have to say. So I think that covers everything pretty well. This was Jiivita. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see more like this, and if there's anything you didn't like, please let me know down below. Also, if you like my channel, want to get cool perks, check out my Patreon page. Until next time, peace.